Pacific Rim Uprising, released in 2018, is the sequel to the fantastic 2013 film Pacific Rim. The first film boasted gorgeous visual effects and prided itself in its bombastic and badass mecha v kaiju fights, and with kinda neat characters dashed in too. The sequel has none of these. Pacific Rim Uprising is, to put it simply, a dreadful movie. Every bad aspect of a summer blockbuster is put on full display with this film. It's on the same level as Transformers The Last Knight, but even that at least had a couple cool fights. The only decent fight in this whole movie is Gypsy Avenger vs. Obsidian Fury. It's a cool fight in a sea of painful mediocrity. While on the topic of the mechas, let me say the one thing I did like. The Jaeger designs, no not that Jaeger, are better than the original in my opinion. The slick and more agile designs hit me in that giant robot spot in my heart that I love. Some say they look more like they're from Evangelion, which isn't a bad thing. Now that my praise has been given, let's rip this film to shreds, shall we? Let's start off with the characters. Dear Lord, these are awful. For starters, they decided to bring only 2 characters back from the original. 2 fucking people! And one died in the first half an hour! Marco, dead! Yeah, remember that cute arc Marco had in the first film? Lol, she's dead as fuck now. And poor John Boyega, screwed over by Star Wars and given a somehow worse hand here. The little girl that is shoved in the plot is annoying like expected. The only character I even slightly like is Charlie Day's character. But that's purely because he's acting his heart out in this film, going goblin mode and having the time of his life. I respect it, Luigi. Oh, and the rest of the pilots? Did anyone expect them to be anything more than cannon fodder? The action was the only thing I was really looking forward to, and somehow they still messed it up. In the first film, the robots and beasts moved with a ton of weight and momentum, but Uprising goes, we don't do that here. The robots feel floaty, like they're being dragged across the screen. None of the action is unique or interesting, just feels like standard action fare. Of course, besides the fight I brought up earlier. So when your characters suck, your emotional moments don't hit because the characters suck, and even your action sucks, you 100% failed. Oh, and let's not forget that the only time that the epic theme from the first film is used is a goddamn suiting up montage. Fuck you, movie. All this culminated in the film being a massive disappointment of fans, and a third sequel basically dead in the water. Maybe that's for the better. On that note, notice how Pacific Rim as a brand has basically died now? All we've had since then is a decent little animated show that probably is going to be shadow cancelled if it hasn't been already. This film basically killed all the hype for this franchise, which is baffling since the first started off as a relative failure, but picked up a ton of steam after release and became more of a massive cult following film. If you have been eagerly awaiting more Pacific Rim content, or really giant robot content that isn't anime or Transformers, you can thank Pacific Rim Uprising for ruining all of that. And on that terrible disappointment, it's time to end. Take care, everybody.